In this video, I'm going to show you how to review your settlement agreement and also how to submit the agreement for your spouse to review and approve online. As soon as you submit your settlement agreement, we will send you a summary of the next steps. Please make sure to read this email carefully to understand the process. At this point, your case will be assigned to an attorney. The first thing the attorney will do is to complete the correct jurisdiction on your case. As soon as that is done, you will receive a first draft of your settlement agreement that you should review. You will receive an SMS as well as an email with the settlement agreement attached. At this point, you should download and save the settlement agreement and make sure that the content reflects what was agreed between you and your spouse. If you want to make any changes to the settlement agreement, you can do so on the platform. Simply log into the platform and navigate to your dashboard by clicking the dashboard link in the top left-hand corner on the menu. Your dashboard will contain a table with the steps for your case. Simply click on the step to open the details screen. On the next screen, you will see an area with detailed instructions on how to complete the step. You also have an opportunity to change any information for your settlement agreement by changing the fields towards the bottom of the page. Let's assume, for example, you want to change the monthly maintenance cash amount for each child. You simply scroll down to the appropriate field and you update it accordingly, and scroll back up and click on the update button. To make sure the changes are reflected in your settlement agreement, click the download link on the page that says download settlement agreement and make sure all the changes have been effected. You can make as many changes to the settlement agreement as you like. All you need to do is update the appropriate fields and click on the update button on the top right. As soon as you are 100% satisfied with the content of your settlement agreement, you should then submit it to your spouse for review online. To do so, you simply need to check the complete radio button on the right hand side and click on the update button. If you wish to add an additional note for your spouse, use the notes section to do so. Next, your spouse will receive a detailed email as well as an SMS with instructions on how to review the agreement. Your spouse does not need a separate account on the DivorcePros platform. They can view or approve the settlement agreement by clicking on the link in an email, which will take them to the platform and the correct screen to do so. There is once again a link that enables the person to download the settlement agreement for review. Your workflow on the screen allows for two options: either to approve the settlement agreement right away or to revert back and request changes. To request changes to the settlement agreement, simply add a note and then click on the revert button. On the request for amendment, you will receive an SMS informing you of the request as well as an email. Any notes added will also be reflected in the email. Your next step would be to log back into the platform and navigate to your dashboard. Once again, you'll have detailed instructions on the page explaining how to complete the step. You also have the notes that your spouse entered to review. If you want to change anything on the settlement agreement, on request from your spouse, you can do so by updating the fields at the bottom and clicking on the update button on the right hand side. After doing that, you can download the settlement agreement again to make sure that the changes have been effected, and as soon as you are happy to revert back, you can complete a note if required and then select the complete option and click on update. Your spouse will receive a SMS notification as well as an email with a link that they can click to review the changes. The notes that you added will be in this section at the top here. So let's assume in this case your spouse is happy with the contents of the agreement. He or she would simply import a note if appropriate and click on the Approve button. You will receive an SMS as well as an email informing you of the agreement consent by your spouse. The next step would be for your attorney to review the settlement agreement to make sure it meets all the legal requirements and to also ensure that it reflects what was submitted by yourself and your spouse.